Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, ooh. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Back at you with another makeup tutorial. If you are new to my channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you will know each and every time that I upload a new video. So today's makeup tutorial is going to be somewhat inspired by a previous video that I actually did, but also my cousin has sent me a picture and I just feel like it was really beautiful, and it kind of is a comparison to the one I actually did before. So I want to recreate that look today for y'all. It's going to be more like a natural glam look. First, I'm going to start by priming my face. That is the number one thing that you have to do before doing your makeup or putting on any foundation. I'm going to be priming my face with the Pore Professional by Benefit. And we're going to go ahead and apply that all over my face and make sure we get that in all the nooks and crannies. This poreless primer is actually the bomb from Benefit. I will leave that down in the description below. When I mean that it literally covers up your pores, it covers up your pores. So next, I'm going to start off by doing some color correcting, and I'm going to be using my Pro Concealer in Radish. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take my BH Cosmetic brush in number 2 and start blending that product out. So next, I'm going to go ahead and take my Laura Mercier powder and my beauty blender, and we're going to start setting that concealer that we just put in place. So now after we're done doing that, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera, and I will be right back. So I went on ahead and completed my eyebrows off camera. The products that I used was Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, which looks like this. And I went in with the Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn by LA Girl. And I went in with my concealer brush, which is by BH Cosmetics in the number 6. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my eyes before I put any eyeshadows down. I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Pro LA Girl Concealer in the shade Fawn. And I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild brush to go ahead and blend all that concealer out. So I'm going to start popping that on my eyelid. And I'm going to go ahead and take that Wet n Wild brush and start blending that all over the eyelid. I'm also going to bring that out a little bit to my tear duct so that way when I apply my eyeshadows, it will look so seamlessly and flawless. So the next step I'm going to do is take a little bit of that Laura Mercier powder and just put just a little bit inside of my cap. And I'm going to take that Beauty Blender sponge and I'm going to go ahead and set that product in place. I'm a powder girl. So when you see me, you're going to see me with a lot of powder on my eyes. I want to make sure that my eyeshadow and my makeup does not move throughout the day. Especially if you're going to be wearing your makeup for hours and hours at a time. You want to make sure that makeup stays in place. And make sure that that powder is pressed into the skin. So now I'm going to be doing my eyeshadow, and the products that I'm going to be going in with is going to be the Morphe 3502 and as well as the 35S palette. This palette have colors that I love for the look that I'm going for, and then this palette has the perfect color for the shade that I'm going for as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Morphe palette. We're going to go into 3502 palette first, and I'm going to open up and I'm going to take this brown shade right here. And we're going to use that for the crease. And the brush that I'm going in with is the Morphe M513 brush. I'm going to take a little of that powder and start applying that. And I'm going to bring that up just a little bit to the brow bone and blend that product out. And I'm also going to bring it out just a little bit. We're doing more like a soft, glam, natural look. So that's why we're starting off with the lighter shade first and then working our way up to the darker colors. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the other side. And I'm going to be sweeping that into my brow. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my BH Cosmetic brush in number 7. And we're going to go in with this dark shade right here. And as well for the other side, I'm going to put that at the bottom in the corner and blend that out and work it in, as well as dragging around and bring that product out just a little. And as well as I'm going to do that for the other side. So the next step, I'm going to be dipping into my Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is the Jackie Aina palette. And the brush I'm going to be using is the BH Cosmetics, and this is in the brush number 6. We're going to go inside of this palette, and we're going to go ahead and use Credit, which is this dark shade right here. And start pressing that into the lower lash. I don't want to go up to the other colors that I use. I just want to stay exactly at the bottom. Pressing and moving at the same time. The next step we're going to be doing is cutting that crease. The products that I'm going to be using is going to be the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn. And the brush that I'm going to be using is going to be the BH Cosmetic brush in number 11, which is this small angular brush. So I'm going to take a little of my product and place it at my lower lash and look up. So now I have my placement of where I want it to start. So now I'm going to take a little bit of that product on my brush and start following the exact cut that I just did with the eye. Just like that. I have hooded eyes, so this is the only way that I can feel I can actually place my makeup without over placing it. So now that I got my placement, I'm going to go ahead in with the Pro Girl Concealer and start laying that foundation down. And I'm stopping into the middle of the eyebrow. And I'm gonna go back in with that brush and start pressing that product in, just like that. So now we're done cutting that crease. I'm gonna go ahead in with this 35S palette by Morphe, and we're going to be going in with the BH Cosmetic brush in number 9, which is smaller angular brush. The color that I'm going to be going in with is going to be here, which is Sunbathe. I'm going to take a little of that color and start packing that on the inner eye. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is a really beautiful color. So what I like to do is a shimmery eye in the inside and a more darker color on the outer corner of the eyes. I'm going to take the brush that I used previously, and I am going to be going into Shady Spot, blending that color out at the edge so that way it can blend seamlessly. We're just gonna keep blending until we get the desired color, shade, and look that we want. That looks just about right. So the next step I'm gonna be doing is foundation. The foundation I'm gonna be going in with right now is gonna be Kat Von D Deep 74. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that over the face. I don't need much, just a little. And we're gonna start blending that product out. And you already know I'm trying to cover up all of my mistakes. And when I like to do my foundation, I also like to go down a little bit to the neck. Please do not stop with just the face. Go down to the neck. That's where a lot of people make mistakes at. They only do their face and not go down to the neck. You have to go down to the neck. I know a lot of times when I do my videos, you guys do not see me going down to the neck, but a lot of times, yes, I do go down to my neck. Because at the end of the day, Some of the foundations are not going to be the exact shade of your skin tone. We already know that. And another thing, Kat Von D does oxidizes. So the color you may use, just be ready to know that the color is going to oxidize and the color will change. The next step I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be contouring. The products that I'm going to be using is going to be my LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn and my Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer in Too Faced. So I'm going to take that Fawn shade and put that up under the eye. I'm going to go out just a little bit because I want my eyes a little brighter than I normally have them. And as well as do that for that other side. And put a little of that at the edges and go as well for the other side. I'm going to apply that to the chin, my top lips, as well as my forehead and down the center of my nose. So my next step is taking my beauty blender, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start blending that product out. I am pressing it into the skin. That's exactly what I'm doing, pressing it in. And I'm going around toward the mouth. I actually let that product dry down just a little bit. And now for the chin and down the center of my nose and my forehead. Perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start doing a little contouring. I'm gonna be using my Fenty Beauty, and this is gonna be in the shade Espresso. This is what it looks like, and I'm gonna be using my BH Cosmetic Brush 8 and start contouring. The reason why I'm not using my Too Faced this time is because this is a soft look. And we're gonna do it as well as for the forehead. And we're gonna do it for the other side. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my Revolution Banana Powder and we're gonna go ahead and set underneath the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and go on the other side. And the reason why I use banana powder, because I like underneath my eyes to be brighter than the rest of my face. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take my Laura Mercier powder and set the rest of my face. And now I'm gonna take a little bit of that Laura Mercier and clean up on here. So the next step, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little contouring on the nose. I'm gonna be using my angle brush. This is by BH Cosmetics, as well as my Fenty Beauty Espresso. I'm gonna take a little bit of that, brushing a little of that product into the brow. And I'm going down just a little bit in my nose. And as well as doing it for the other side. And now we're gonna go ahead and do a little blush. I'm gonna be using my Lancome in Blush Shimmery and Plumber Fair. And we're gonna start applying that to the cheeks. And as well as doing it for the other side. So I went on ahead and did this side offline. I did underneath the eye, I did the waterline, and I put on mascara at the bottom lash. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to be taking the 35S palette and I'm going to be taking Shady Spot. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the bottom of my lash. And put a little bit of that under here. And connect it to the top eyeshadow that I did. And then I went on ahead and took my BH Cosmetic Blending Brush in number 16. And I just went on ahead and started blending that product out. Next step is doing my wing liner. Normally I don't do my wing liner online, But I'm going to do my wing liner today. And the product that I'm going in with is the e.l.f. and this is in the shade Jet Black. I'm going to start at the corner of the eye and push it out. And then what I'm going to do is just take the top and connect it to the inner portion of the eyelid. And start filling that out. Start connecting the front of the wing liner to my waterline. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil. This is in the shade White, and I'm going to go ahead and place this on the bottom of my waterline. I'm going to go ahead and take my Artist Couture and Illuminati. I'm going to take a little bit of that and do some highlighting in the inner corner of the eye. Now I'm going to do my eyelashes on the line, and I'll be right back. So now that I did my eyelashes off camera, we're going to go ahead and do a little highlighting. I'm going to be using my Artist Couture and Illuminati, and the brush that I'm going to be using is going to be the brush number 18, which is by BH Cosmetics. A little bit of that, and start putting that on the cheeks. And we're going to do that for the other side as well. And I'm going to do that for my chin. I'm going to do that for my forehead. Now we are going to set this makeup in place. I'm going to be using a professional setting spray. I'm going to go ahead and spray that all on my face, and we're just going to let that dry. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my lips. I'm going to be taking the Morphe matte lipstick, which is in the shade Virgin, and we're going to go ahead and apply that to the lips. Go ahead and take my Morphe lipstick and put a little of that on the lips. And start blending that in. Okay guys, this is the final look. Thank you guys for watching this makeup tutorial. If you are not subscribed, please make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, as well as follow all of my social media platforms, which will be linked down below. And until next time, holla!